Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Masiello, four-time exit founder, three-time best-selling author, and founder of Crunch Growth Revenue Acceleration Agency. My team and I have helped hundreds of companies achieve success. One question I get asked from aspiring entrepreneurs is how to begin, where to start. Well, stay tuned to this episode of the Growth Class. I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to look at the 12 most important steps to building a successful business. And this applies to any business. Whether you're creating a brand to sell a physical product, a SaaS product, or a service, whatever you sell is your product. Welcome to the first step in building a successful business. It always starts with the customer. Why? Because without a customer, you don't have a business. You need to identify who they are, their demographics, their lifestyle, even their job role. The more you know them, the better you can solve their problems. Next, you need to define their problem or their pain point. What's frustrating them? What's inefficient, unfulfilled in their life or work? Your goal is to find that one thing that's a struggle for them. Once you've found that problem, you need to understand their motivation. Why would they pay for a solution? Why would they pay for a solution from you? Is it to save time, gain status, simply find happiness? The real payoff is what they're really buying. Remember this key takeaway. People don't buy products, they buy outcomes. They're not just getting a thing, they're getting a result. Focus on the outcome and you're already on the right track. In other words, what's the payoff for the customer to buy your product? Because it's about them, not you. Now that you know your customer, it's time to look at the landscape. We're talking about your competitor analysis. Who else is out there? Look at their positioning, their pricing, what makes them strong or weak. You want to be aware of your competitors, but you don't want to be like them. And don't just say you're better. Better is subjective. Just being better isn't enough. You have to be different. This is your differentiation strategy. You need to offer a unique value proposition that shifts the customer's choice. Think about Graza olive oil. They didn't just sell better olive oil. They put it in a squeeze bottle and turned that simple act of cooking into a lifestyle. That's how they stood out. Truff elevated hot sauce to a premium. Go high level, they created a fully integrated marketing automation platform. Shopify made it easy and effective for e-commerce sites to start selling. So your challenge is to find that unique twist for your product or service. What makes you different, not just better? That's what will get you noticed. And remember, be aware of your competition, but don't try to be like them. Ready to prove your idea has legs? This is all about validation. The best way to start is with customer discovery interviews. Talk to 20, 50 real prospects, and most importantly, listen more than you speak. Give them your product for free. Let them evaluate it, even if it's a prototype. Another powerful validation tool is pre-sale or waitlist. Can you get people to commit to purchase it before you even build a product? Getting signups or deposits is a huge sign that you're on the right track. This stage is about confirming your problem-solution fit. Are you truly solving a problem that people are willing to pay for? Because that's important. Can you get people to pay for your product? If they're not willing to pay, you may not have a strong enough idea. Validation isn't just a step, it's a checkpoint. It saves you from wasting time and money on something that no one wants. So talk to your customers, get their early commitment. Prior to launching Harry's Razors, they were able to get 100,000 signups. So the day that they launched, they were able to send out 100,000 emails to buy their product. Think about how powerful that is. All right, it's time to build, but not the whole thing. We're talking about the MVP, or minimum viable product. The goal is to test your idea with minimal resources and reduce risk before you overinvest. The form of your MVP depends on what you're building. For a physical product, it might be a simple prototype or a small batch. For a tech product like SaaS, think no-code build or a limited feature set. If you're launching a service, your MVP might just be you doing the work manually and personally. This helps you learn the process before you try to automate or scale it. Your MVP isn't meant to be perfect. It's a learning tool. The less you build, the faster you can get real data and feedback to improve it. When Apple launched, they didn't launch selling a complete computer system. They launched selling a board. Manscaped, they launched with someone else's trimmer and a minimal website. Spotify started with a small group providing legal streaming music to gather feedback. Airbnb, they rented out their air mattresses in their San Francisco apartment to conference attendees using a basic website called Air Bed and Breakfast. Chasing perfection at this stage stops progress. You've got your MVP. Now what? It's time to launch into a small controlled audience. This is where the magic happens and you get real feedback. You'll want to collect two types of data. First, there's qualitative feedback. What are your customers saying about your product? This includes their suggestions and feelings. Secondly, there's quantitative data. What are they actually doing? Are they coming back? Are they using a specific feature? The data shows you what's working and what isn't. Based on these insights, you'll make adjustments. You'll communicate to your audience that you made changes based on their feedback. You might change product features, your messaging, how to deliver your service. This constant cycle of testing and iterating is how you build something people truly love. And letting them know tells them you're listening. And ones who did not like it the first time will come back to try it again. So trying to achieve perfection at this stage stops progress. This is where we get serious about the numbers. It's all about measuring early traction. The first key metric is retention. Are people returning for more? This is a huge indicator of success. Next, look at referrals. Are they recommending you to others? Word of mouth is the most powerful form of marketing. That's why we like influencers. And of course, there's revenue. Are people willing to pay? How much are they willing to pay? And finally, track your customer acquisition cost versus your long-term value. Is customer acquisition sustainable and profitable? Here's a critical warning. If your retention is weak, you don't have product market fit yet. So don't scale until you've solved this problem. It's better to fix it now than to burn money later. Now that you have some traction, it's time to secure the resources you need to grow. A big question is whether you'll bootstrap or raise capital. The right choice depends on your desired growth speed, your capital needs, and your personal tolerance for risk. Raising capital from investors can provide a significant boost, but it also means giving up a portion of your company. Bootstrapping lets you keep full control, but means slower growth. Regardless of your funding path, you need to build a core team. You should focus on finding people with complementary skills like product, like marketing, operations, finance, things that you're not good at, or maybe things you don't want to do or don't have time to do because, again, you're the founder, you have to manage everything. Don't rush this step. The people and the money you bring in now will determine your ability to scale successfully. I've watched many entrepreneurs get funding too early, only to implode shortly after. They didn't have things figured out or they signed an awful funding deal. The longer you can bootstrap, the more leverage you have when negotiating investment. Getting capital from outside is not a badge of honor. Bootstrapping your way to success is. You're ready to get your product out there. This is where your go-to-market strategy comes in. First, define your positioning and messaging. What is the unique promise you're making to the customer? What problems are you solving for them? Next, you need to identify your channels. Where will you find your customers? Are you going to use social media, paid ads, retail, partnerships? You need to be where the audience is. And this goes back to step one, knowing your customer. If you know them and you know them intimately, then you know who they are and where to find them. Finally, determine your sales model. Will customers buy from you online in a self-serve format? Will you have a sales team reaching out to them? Or will you sell in a physical store? Your go-to-market strategy is your roadmap for reaching customers and generating revenue. Get this right, and you'll have a clear path to growth. As your business grows, you need to establish strong systems to keep everything running smoothly. First, your legal structure. You an LLC, a C Corp, a partnership. This decision impacts not only your taxes, but your funding options. Second, your finances. Open a business bank account, set up bookkeeping system, start tracking your key performance indicators right away. Knowing your numbers is crucial, especially knowing the right numbers. Third, your operations. You need repeatable processes for everything from fulfillment and customer service to marketing efforts. This will save you time and headaches down the road. Don't skip these steps. Good systems are the foundation of a scalable business and will help prevent chaos as you grow. I know this for a fact because my first business failed because I was terrible at implementing systems. Systems help you control what you can control and better prepares you for the events that happen that you can't control, and those events will come. So you've built your foundation and you're seeing consistent customer retention, referrals, growing demand. Now it's time to scale, but do it carefully. The number one cause of startup failure is premature scaling. One way to scale is by adding product extensions or upsells. You can also expand your marketing spend on things like ads, influencers, PR. You can explore new channels for your product too. Maybe you can expand to Amazon. Maybe you can expand to wholesale or even international markets. Scaling is exciting, but it's not a race. You need to make sure your core business is solid before you pour more resources into it. Your product is great, but customers connect with stories, not just features. This is all about building your brand and community. Why did you care enough about this problem to build what you built? Who are you? People want to feel an emotional connection to your brand, your product, your messaging. Sharing your story and your why will build trust and loyalty. Your why is why you built your product to solve their problems. Create community touchpoints. This could be a social media group, a user forum, even events. Give your customers a place to reconnect with each other and with your brand. A strong brand and a loyal community are two of the most powerful assets. They'll carry you far beyond a simple transaction. You've made it, but the journey doesn't end here. The final step is all about continuous improvement. The market is always changing, and your competitors are always reacting. You need to keep innovating, build feedback loops into your product and your customer interactions, so you're always learning and growing. Finally, invest in your brand equity. Over time, the trust you build with your customers becomes your moat, something that competitors can't easily replicate. Think about Amazon. They built a moat with customer loyalty. 93% of the public buying in the US have the Amazon app on their phone. How many years have we heard that Walmart's going to overtake Amazon, Target's going to overtake Amazon? Hasn't happened yet. You cannot replace customer loyalty and trust. So make sure you constantly nurture your customers. And there you have it. 12 steps to start a successful business. Keep innovating, stay focused on your customer, and you'll be on the path to success. My team and I can help you along the way. We've helped hundreds of businesses grow and grow profitably. So schedule a time to speak with us. Click the link in the description. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. And thanks for watching.